12 years ago today, our people, our country, and our way of life was attacked. As airline pilots, let's be clear, this was a personal attack. Our livelihoods and our profession were targeted by terrorists with the intent of hateful destruction. And as we struggled through the dark days that immediately followed, we harnessed that rage, that sadness, and ultimately pledged to not let this senseless tragedy ground us. We pledged to never forget the sacrifice of those United and American crew members and passengers. We vowed to prevent terrorist attacks like 9/11 from ever happening again. Today we stand firmly unified in making our skies, our aircraft, and our airports safe and more secure. Today, our unflinching and our fierce determination to fulfill this commitment fuel the efforts of the Airline Pilots Association International to make positive changes in our industry. The pledge we made drives us to promote the Federal Flight Deck Officer Program. And that's pilots who serve as Federal Flight Deck Officers, standing as the last line of defense in protecting our airspace through this critical and cost-effective program. Our commitment to our fallen colleagues also fuels our efforts to close gaps that still exist in cargo security. And to that end, the Airline Pilots Association is a strong advocate for passage of the Saraceni Aviation Safety Act of 2013. Named in honor of the memory of ALPA member Victor Saraceni, captain of United Flight 175, this legislation would fulfill Congress's intent to make cockpits more secure by ensuring that U.S. airlines adopt secondary barriers on all aircraft. The pledge we made motivated us to partner with Airlines for America and the Transportation Security Administration on the Known Crew Member Program, an extremely successful program that underscores the value of and need for a risk-based approach to security. Today, we're joined in our memorial garden to honor the memories of the crews and passengers of those 4 flights, the first responders, and all the victims of September 11th. And today, we reaffirm our pledge that we'll never forget. We'll continue to stand together, to stay vigilant, and make every effort to make aviation in North America even more safe and secure.
It is said that time heals all wounds, but the terrorist attacks that took place 12 years ago took away friends, fellow employees, and family members. That day forever left a scar on our nation's psyche that has changed our way of life in countless ways. It is impossible to forget the events of 9/11. The images of that day are permanent fixtures in our memories, reminders of the pain and loss that was experienced by all of us. Each year, we make the pilgrimage here to the ALPA International 9/11 Memorial, not only to mourn the loss of our brothers on that dark day, but to renew our promise to sustain their memories. Time does not heal all wounds. As Rose Kennedy once said, the wounds remain. In time, the mind, protecting its sanity, covers them with scar tissue, and the pain lessens, but it is never gone. That determination can be seen in efforts to preserve the memories of our fallen brothers. The establishment and growth of foundations scholarships, memorials, and other charitable endeavors in their names assure that the lives of these fellow aviators will never be forgotten. Perhaps the best way to honor their legacies is to ensure that the tragedy we all experienced 12 years ago today will never happen again. As an association, as a labor union, as pilots, and as ALPA staff we work beside every day, we owe it to ourselves, our loved ones, and all who lost their lives on that dark day to remain vigilant and dedicated and continue advocating for the safest, most secure skies that we can to provide to our passengers and fellow crew members. While remembering all who lost their lives on September 11, 2001, let us honor the memories of the following crew members and employees from United Flight 93, United Flight 175, American Flight 11, and American Flight 77. United Flight 93, Captain Jason Dahl. First Officer Leroy Homer, Jr. Flight Attendant Lorraine Bay. Flight Attendant Sandra Bradshaw. Flight Attendant Wanda Green. Flight Attendant Cece Lyles. Flight Attendant Deborah Welsh. United Flight 175, Captain Victor Saraceni. First Officer Michael Heroux. Flight Attendant Robert Fangman. Flight Attendant Jamie Jarrett. Flight Attendant Amy King. Flight Attendant Catherine LeBroy. Flight Attendant Alfred Marchand. Flight Attendant Michael Thoreau. Flight Attendant Alicia Titus. Customer Service Representative Marianne McFarland. Customer Service Representative Jesus Sanchez. American Flight 11, Captain John Ogonowski. First Officer Thomas McGinnis. Flight Attendant Barbara Aristugi. Flight Attendant Jeffrey Coleman. Flight Attendant Sarah Lowe. Flight Attendant Karen Martin. Flight Attendant Kathleen Nicosia. Flight Attendant Betty Ong. Flight Attendant Jean Roger. Flight Attendant Diane Snyder. Flight Attendant Madeline Sweeney. American Flight 77, Captain Charles Burlingame. First Officer David Charlebois. Flight Attendant Michelle Heidenberger. Flight Attendant Jennifer Lewis. Flight Attendant Kenneth Lewis. Flight Attendant Renee May. We will never forget.
Would Captain Couette and Captain Helling please lay the wreath on the monument?